So, with the proliferation of English teaching videos on YouTube and English teaching channels, which I will admit this is one of them, you have a lot of good information, you have a ton of bad information, then you just have information and videos and whatnot that are just like useless. They don't help you. They're kind of the worst videos that you can find out there. And today we're going to be talking about those types of videos. And one specifically we're going to talk about is conversation practice. Yes, where you can have a conversation with a video. You might see where I'm going with this. So we're going to actually talk about conversation practice videos and if they help you or not. The answer is no, they don't help you. Hello everyone, my name is Dave. Welcome to Dave's English. If you're ever interested in taking one-on-one lessons with me, just go ahead and go to my website, davesenglish.com, where on the front page, you can go ahead and register for either speaking practice or general English lessons. I'd be more than happy to help you with your English learning needs. And also, if you appreciate this video or any of the other videos that you see on there, go ahead and do a super chat and show your appreciation. Any little bit to make this channel keep afloat and to help out really helps. So thank you very much for any help, any support that you can provide to the channel. So what we're going to talk about are these conversation videos where you can have a 1, 2, 3, 4 hours of conversation practice one way, because they can't respond to your answers, and yet they pass these things off as conversation practice. Now, I am somebody who can talk someone's ear off. I can talk till the cows come home, but here's the thing. I can't talk like that for 3.5, 4 hours. I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. So to see a 4-hour conversation practice video is about the dumbest thing I've heard, because no one's ever going to be in a 4-hour well, I guess you could be in one, but more like you're not going to be in a 4-hour conversation. But that doesn't explain why these videos are just absolutely useless. But let's talk about the first one that I've already hit on, which is that it's not a conversation. A conversation is where you say something to me, my head then registers what has been said to me, I then formulate my own response, I then give you my answer, then your brain goes through the same process, and then you give me a response, and we go back and forth. This is a conversation.
I do seem to remember a process where you people ask me questions, and I give you answers, and then I ask you questions, and you give me answers, and that's the way we find out things. I think I read that in a manual somewhere.
You can't do that with a video. You can't do that at all with a video. So therefore, the whole concept of this being a conversation is already flawed, because you cannot have a conversation where you have no actual intellectual input, you have no comprehension, you have nothing whatsoever when it comes to providing answers into one of these videos. So for example, let's say somebody says in one of these videos, "Hi, how are you today?" And my answer is, "Well, I feel like shit because my cat died." Well, that's probably not going to be the answer they have, which is, "I'm fine, how are you?" Which brings me to another problem I have with these videos, is that the answers and a lot of things are absolutely predictable, so they're not really adding to what you are wanting to respond. Because remember, when you're doing a conversation, your response can be all over the spectrum. It can be anything, but what they do in these videos is they pigeonhole you into a certain specific way to answer something. It just makes no sense. We'll talk about that in a few, but the problem is that you're very limited in what you can say, which brings me up to my third issue, is that these videos come across as very robotic. Okay, and this is important because the way in which I speak to you in a video is more likely the way that you will see somebody in the wild, an English speaker in the wild, speak to people instead of, "Hi, how are you? Did you have a good day today?" And this is one of the reasons, and I'm going to make a video about this soon, one of the reasons why I hate slow talking videos, because you're not going to encounter that when you're here. You're going to have somebody that's speaking like this. And if I'm not sitting there going, "Have you had a good day today?" That doesn't help you. And a lot of these conversation videos, they actually are like that. They already have a canned response that is going to be really slow, very elementary, and doesn't really build on your conversation skills. Which brings me to another point. All you're doing in these are simply reading aloud. You're not having a conversation. You are looking at a script, you're reading what that script says, and then just saying that script. That's not a conversation. If I already know what I have to say, though I haven't heard the answer or the question or whatever yet, then that's not a conversation. If I already know, that's called acting. Okay. And if you want to be an actor, this is fine. But in no way, shape, or form are these videos about conversations. Talking about the script, this brings up another problem with these types of videos is that all of these conversations aren't conversations, they're scripts, right? So a script is just something like an actor does, which means that it is written. It's not the way that we're going to speak. So all of these examples in these conversation practice videos are not examples that you are going to see out when you're talking to people. If you go to Springfield, Illinois and go into a little sub shop and want to order something, the way in which they're going to talk to you or maybe even small talk to you or whatever is not going to be the same as the canned response that they have in the video. And again, it's written. So the way in which we write and the way in which we speak are absolutely different. But what these videos do is they conflate the two in order for you to learn English, but not learn the appropriate English for the situation. So let me give you an example here. As good as these approaches may be predicting election outcomes, they do not improve very much over the simple cost of a coin. The eventual development of more scientific forecasting approaches has thus been an important advance in the field. I wrote that. I would never say that. I would paraphrase it in a way that would actually make more sense. So when a lot of people talk about these writing skills, what you write and what you say are not the same thing, but a lot of these videos conflate it, and a lot of these script-based conversation practices are purely that. They're written, they're scripted, they're not real conversations, and therefore they're leading you astray. Which goes to my final point that I've kind of mentioned in and out throughout this video is that these are very specific scripts, which means the English that you learn in a lot of these conversation practices are basically useless unless you find yourself in a specific situation in which you need this.
You speak German?
I do.
Well, no, what's the only German you can say?
Aber ja, natürlich, Hans ist nass, er steht unter dem Wasserfall.
What's that mean?
Naturally, Hans is wet, he's standing under a waterfall.
For example, I was looking at somebody who made a video about buying clothes in a clothing store, and the situation that she had and then the answers that she gave were specific for her specific situation, which means that if you go in there and have any other situation, the fact that you just had a script about being in a clothing store means nothing unless you're going to actually encounter that specific situation. And this is one of the biggest problems with these type of scripted conversation practices is that you can't actually practice a conversation. All you're doing is reading a script aloud and then just hope by the roll of a dice that you're going to be in one of those situations in which that specific thing is going to help you out. So overall, conversation practice videos are about as useless as anything because, one, you're not having a conversation. Two, you're reading everything aloud. Three, we don't speak how we write. These are two different skills. And number four, the situation is so specific that unless you find yourself in those situations, this whole entire 3-hour video that you watched about learning English, but through conversation, is not going to be beneficial whatsoever. And I will admit this is a plague on the whole entire online English teaching community. Even the channels that I said are good channels that you should follow, they actually fall into this trap too, and they provide these types of videos. I mean, you can't bat 1,000 every time. Every now and then you're gonna strike out. There's no doubt about it. And it would be nice if there was a little bit more quality control when it comes to this. However, people know they're going to click on it, like it. people are going to think that they're learning something, but they're not, because they're not using their own brain. They're just absolutely copying what the person's saying. Like, I don't speak Albanian, but if somebody is giving me a script and then repeats the script, and then I repeat what is in the script, it doesn't matter if I know Albanian or not. I am just like literally repeating what a person says with whatever sounds that they're producing. That's not helping me learn the language, because I'm not learning what the words are. I'm not learning what the meanings are. I'm not learning what anything is in regards to these words or these phrases or how things connect or whatever. I'm not learning anything. I'm just, again, I can do this in Albanian, not know a lick of Albanian, and then by the time I'm done with the 3-hour video, not know a damn thing about Albanian, but I would still be able to do that because I'm just simply listening and repeating the sounds that I hear. That might help me with pronunciation down the line if I decide to learn Albanian, but it's not going to help me actually have a conversation with someone. It's just going to make me sound more Albanian using words that aren't Albanian because I don't speak Albanian. That's what it does. So anyway, we're done for today. I just wanted to make this short video about these conversation practice videos because they're the biggest, piece of horse shit out there when it comes to English language learning. And if you do like my channel, go ahead and subscribe, click the little bell, get all notifications, all that good stuff or whatever. And again, if you ever want to take lessons with me, just go to davesenglish.com and I can help you out with your English learning needs. And yes, I speak at this rate of speed when it comes to my videos because, well, that's what you're going to experience when you come here. I don't talk like this. No, I don't do that, and I never will. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, wherever it is you are, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.